Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into blockchain, but we're going to skip past all the crypto noise you usually hear. We're looking at how this technology is becoming a serious tool for business. So get this. By 2025, the projected annual global investment in blockchain technology is over $20 billion. Now that's not just speculative money. It's a huge commitment from major organizations that see real value here. Value that goes way beyond digital currency.
And this isn't just some far-off prediction. We're talking about right now. Nearly half of all organizations across the globe are already running pilot programs with blockchain. They're actively figuring out how this tech can work for them, which tells you we're moving from just talking about it to actually doing it.
So what is all the fuss about? Well, here's our roadmap. We'll kick off by getting past the crypto hype. Then, we'll see why blockchain is basically a new way to build trust. We'll look at the different types you can choose from, see how it's being used in the real world, get real about its limitations, and finally, talk about the future.
Okay, let's get into it. Everyone knows blockchain launched with Bitcoin way back in 2009, but the real story for businesses, that started picking up steam around 2016. That's when companies began to realize, hey, forget the coin for a second. What about the technology underneath it?
And this right here, this is the light bulb moment for business. The idea that you could have a shared, tamper-proof record book. It was a breakthrough because it allows for a whole new kind of trust, one that doesn't need a bank or a lawyer or some other middleman to verify everything.
So how does it actually build that trust? I mean, what's the secret sauce? To really get why blockchain is such a big deal, you have to look under the hood at its core parts. Okay, at its very heart is something called a distributed ledger. The easiest way to picture it is like a shared digital notebook. Everybody in a group, say a business network, gets an identical copy, and you can only add a new page when pretty much everyone agrees. There's no single boss, which means everyone can trust the notebook as the single source of truth.
Now this is where it gets really clear how different this is. A normal database is controlled by one person, one administrator, and data can be changed, it can be deleted. But a blockchain is controlled by its users. And here's the kicker. The data is immutable. Once something is written down, it's basically set in stone. It can't be secretly changed. You're trusting math, not just a person.
So, these components give blockchain 4 superpowers. 1, it's decentralized, so if one computer goes down, the network keeps going. 2, it's transparent, so everyone involved sees the same thing. 3, it's immutable, meaning the records are permanent. And 4, it gets rid of the need for those expensive third parties to build trust. But, and this is really important, blockchain isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. It's more like a toolkit. You can actually tailor them for very specific jobs depending on how much privacy and control you need.
You basically have 4 main flavors. There are public blockchains like Bitcoins, where literally anyone can join. Then you've got private ones, controlled by just one company for their own internal stuff. Consortiums are pretty cool. They're run by a group of organizations, perfect for an entire industry to collaborate. And then hybrid models kind of mix and match for the best of both worlds.
All right, enough with the theory. This is where the rubber meets the road. Let's look at how this stuff is actually being used to fix real problems right now.
Okay, think about food safety. With blockchain, you can create this unchangeable history for, let's say, a head of lettuce. You can log when it was planted on the farm, track it through the processing plant, follow it on the truck all the way to the grocery store. Every single step is a permanent entry that everyone can see and verify.
And the result of that? It's a total game changer. If there's a contamination scare, you can pinpoint the exact source in seconds. Not days, not weeks. That speed can prevent widespread sickness, save companies from absolutely massive recall costs, and builds a ton of trust with consumers.
And you can literally measure the impact. By automating all that checking and rechecking, companies are seeing huge efficiency boosts, slashing their overhead by as much as 30%. And you can see the effect on some of the biggest headaches. Time wasted on disputes and paperwork just plummets, and things like payments get settled way faster.
But let's be super clear here. Blockchain is not a magic bullet. It's a very specialized tool, and honestly, it is absolutely not the right answer for
every problem.
For example, if you need lightning-fast transactions, like for high-frequency stock trading, a good old-fashioned database is still your best bet. It's also probably overkill if only one company is ever going to use the data. And if you need to constantly change or delete data, well, that goes against the whole immutable idea, doesn't it?
So what's the big takeaway here? Let's zoom out and look at what all this is building toward for the future.
I think this quote really nails it. The way to think about blockchain in the long run is as a new foundational trust layer for the internet. It's not just another app. It's becoming this invisible, essential piece of infrastructure that lets companies, people, and even smart devices work together securely.
Because it fundamentally changes how we collaborate and exchange value, blockchain forces us to rethink what's even possible. And that leaves us with one final thought. What process, maybe in your own industry or just in the world at large, is the most broken simply because of a lack of trust? Because that is probably where you'll see this technology make its next big splash.